Hi, my name is Kyle. I've made multiple six figures for my clients and got them to 100k months and past that. And in this video, I'm going to talk you through the importance of playing big, playing large, putting stakes out there, taking risks. And I know I talk about risks and growing a lot, but in this video, I specifically want to talk about the importance of playing big. Now, what I mean by that is by having a goal so big that it actually excites you to wake up in the morning and to give you sort of a backstory on why I think this is so important. So when I first started out, like a few years ago, the goal of like 10k a month seemed really big to me, right? Back in the day. So it allowed me to get through like Herculean level of tasks, like doing 400 cold calls, 200 cold calls every single day, because the pain I was experiencing seemed worth it for the goal I was chasing after. Now, my goals are bigger than that. They're 100k months, multiple 100k months, right? So I can get into the spaces and communities that I want to be in and speak to so many cool people who are doing that, and just be around people like that. Because I think a lot of the clients I work with as well are so cool because they have gone through hardships and tasks and they know what it takes to get to these numbers. That you develop a level of understanding of the world that's fundamentally different to people who haven't achieved those. So super interesting. But like I said, when I was first starting out, I was able to do around 200 cold calls every single day because the goal I was chasing was very worth it in my mind. Now, you're probably at a stage, you might be at 50k a month, 100k a month, 200k a month, and you're at the stage where you're starting to stagnate. You're starting to see your revenue kind of flatline a bit. And when you first got to this stage, you were, seeing rapid, huge growth, but now it's starting to slow down. And I think within a business, usually you never ever see stagnation. You're either declining quietly or you're actually growing quietly. You just haven't seen the outcome of it yet. But stagnation doesn't really occur. It's just hiding something in that moment. Like for example, if you set the exact same revenue for 3 months straight and you're doing the exact same actions and nothing's changing, that means due to the laws of entropy, which basically means everything must come to an end, eventually the actions that you're taking will become less effective. The market will shift, the market will change, and eventually it's going to go to zero. So you constantly have to be testing, trying new things, whilst doing the main thing that works for that current time period. Because you have to be looking at the same time what's going to work to get your business to the next level once the market shifts, once the market changes. Like for example, you might get loads of leads right now through content or meta ads, but at the same time, if you're getting loads of leads through meta ads, you should now start looking at building up a content base in case your ad account gets shut down, for example. You want to have other places where you can get customers through once you've completely smashed out one of your channels, or whilst you're building at the same time. Both work, to be honest. But anyways, bringing it back to the topic of the video, the importance of playing big. You need to have a goal that's so big that excites you to wake up, get after it, go at it. And with my clients, they don't see like an extra 20k, an extra 10k every single month as viscerally different to their life, because it's not going to change what they do day to day. They still can't do the big things that they want to do, whether that be materialistic wise or being generous wise, like, I don't know, building a school somewhere or giving back to people who they care about or buying a house for someone. You can't do those at certain revenue levels. You can't do it at 100k, but maybe you can do it at 300k a month or 500k a month. So you realize you need to do big growth in order to get to the number you want to get to. And another huge factor on playing big and the importance of it is you need to set a goal way bigger than what you're content with, because whatever you set your goal to is usually the thing you're currently constantly chasing. So it's not going to be the number you hit until you set a number past it, because the actions you take will be proportionate to the goal you're trying to reach, even if you track it. And then you find out that you actually have to do more than that, because what will end up happening is, because let's say even if you find out, right, I need to make it really simple, I need to spend 1k a day in order to get to 100k a month. that doesn't account for sales team getting sick, or there's a big event like the World Cup going on, so CPMs like rise out of nowhere, right? There's usually like a 10-20% slack in and difference in expectations and reality. So you basically have to account for, all right, things that can just go wrong by trying to shoot way past a goal you genuinely would be happy with. So for example, if you're trying to get to 100k a month, you should be shooting for like 200, 300k a month, and building your business and your offer in ways that would allow that to occur, and preparing and setting up in a way that would allow it to occur. Because you basically have to act like the universe is going to get you there, and you have to take loads of actions, but you basically have to be ready and prepared to hit these bigger numbers in order to hit the big numbers. Like you have to genuinely in your mind believe you can get there and achieve that. And the only way you're going to do that is by preparing for it, normalizing it to yourself, hearing other people talk about it all the time. I think that's one of the biggest things as well. If you hear about people talking about big numbers they want to hit, big goals that they have, like it's normal, it normalizes it to you and makes you feel like it's way more possible and brings it into reality. Because a lot of people, they think, oh no, I could never do that, I could never do that. You need to get around people who say it like it's just common everyday language, because that will mean, oh, it's so easy. You just have to do this. And that's how you have to think about these goals. So when you're looking to play big and hit bigger numbers, you need to normalize it in your mind. And another thing is, if you set like a 500k a month goal, 100k a month shrinks into not as big. So that means it allows you to think, oh, 100k a month is way more possible, way more realistic. You're not putting it on a pedestal anymore, because anything you put on a pedestal you don't reach. So you need to always set goals past it. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Now, in your mind, you can be like, okay, it'd be nice to get to 100k a month, for sure. But you need to be acting as if you're trying to go past it. You can't be acting as if, okay, that's the place I'm going to get to and stop. Because what will end up happening is you'll constantly be chasing it your entire business journey. And you'll never actually reach it. And the only time when you'll reach it is when you are actually finally committing to yourself that I can blow past this. And another important thing as well to remember is I think this is a great thing, set goals of what you want to achieve and calculate the actions you need to take to get there. But don't say, oh, I want it to happen by X date. And the reason is because you shouldn't base it off the date and just like, oh, if we just keep going as we are, I just want it by this date. That's not how it works. You need to actually just say, look, it'd be cool if this happened, and I'm going to take these actions in order to get it. I've worked out exactly what I need to do, and I'm just going to keep hammering these actions. And the question you should ask instead is, how long will it take for me to get these metrics? For example, if you're in ads, let's say you're spending 30k a month, but that means you need CPMs of this, click-through rates of like 2%, cost per booked call of like $200, $300. Those need to be your metrics in order to hit your 100k a month, right? What's your cash collected? All right, all of these things, all these questions. So you need to be asking yourself, all right, how long will it take to get these metrics? That you don't really know. You know what you need to do though. And that's really, really important. You know what you need to do, but it's not quite as certain how long it will take to get those metrics. So, like I just mentioned, when you're trying to play big, playing big will shrink your current goal into irrelevance, right? You make it seem way more possible. Listen to people who normalize it and talk about it like it's normal, because that will make it way more likely that you hit your goal. And again, it will just motivate you and inspire you to wake up in the morning. Like I am super, super inspired to wake up every single day because I know I have a big goal that I'm chasing, and I know if I hit it, it helps so many people around me. So it's not just me feeling like I'm getting supported, but it's everyone else around me supporting me as well. Make sure you set goals that genuinely excite you and give you a reason to keep going. Because I think a lot of people in business and anything they try, they give up. And I don't believe you lose until you give up. And the moment you give up is the day you lose. For example, business is an infinite game. You can't complete it. It doesn't finish. It only finishes when you stop. And if that means it's an infinite game, which means it never ends unless you stop, that means as long as you're playing, you're winning. Because the point is to stay in the game. So you're winning if you're in the game. Like Fall Guys, that's such an old game. But as long as you're still alive, you're winning, right? You're on the process to winning. But I feel like in business, there are maybe like more milestones you're trying to hit or accomplishments you have, But you never really get to the point where you say, oh, I've won. Even if you think about the biggest businesses, right? If you go and look at the past like 20 years, so 20 years ago, the S&P 500 would have looked completely different to how it does now. The top 10 companies would have been completely different. So it's not even like you get to the top and stay at the top. You'll fall off because it's an infinite game. It never ends. So the point of that is just play the game, play big, get excited, and just enjoy the process, because that is what will keep you going. That's what will make sure you can hit those big numbers, because you have the big goal in mind. It excites you, makes you want to play harder, quicker, faster, more aggressive. You just enjoy it more in general and get to the things you want to get to. Cool. So that's valuable. Be generous, work hard, take risks. Bye.